our ability to move money from Barbados to overseas or to receive money from overseas into Barbados. We had a Barbadian grown company that made a significant investment in a company in Poland in the last 2 years. Now, we got Rihanna, and that's great. But this is a Barbadian grown company that has gone to Europe and said, I arrive, I am big enough to deal with you up here. And they made an investment and took the majority ownership of the shares in that Polish company. But then the bank said, well, boss, we can't take your money. So they had to give up that investment. The individuals who have properties or companies in Barbados and they want to send money to Barbados to do whatever it is, they've not been able to do it because the banks say, can't take that risk. In Brussels, there are diplomatic offices, and Barbados is lucky, we don't have that problem, but there are diplomatic offices where the diplomats can't open bank accounts. The diplomatic offices cannot open bank accounts, so they can't pay salaries, simply because the banks say taking money from your jurisdiction is too risky. Do you know that Venezuela has to transact all of its business in Barbados in cash?
Yes.
Because it cannot move money through the banking system. So that is the harsh reality that this de-risking thing causes. But it gets worse for us. Think about something called the reinsurance business, where that is perhaps our largest corporate sector, and they have to send premiums or parts of premiums of overseas or receive premiums. And because we are on the EU blacklist, that business is in peril. So there's a risk. I think we've managed to mitigate it, but those companies, some of those companies were on the cusp of leaving Barbados and leaving people jobless and shrinking our economy. Now I can tell you that we've been fighting this particular issue for the last 3 years since we reached that N3 money categorization. We've had to make a lot of changes. We are, in fact, almost at the final point. Took a lot of work, but in January of 2024, we will be making that final step, thanks to the hard work of the FATF. And in January, we're going to be having a face-to-face. So we've submitted report after report after report after report, trying to prove effectiveness and so on, and we've satisfied all of those criteria. But now a multi-country team is coming to Barbados in January to meet with all of our regulators. They're meeting with me, the Prime Minister, everybody, the judges. They're also meeting with some of the companies that you work at to see if what we sent out was BS or whether what we put in our reports was factual, accurate, and more importantly, sustainable. And when we satisfy them, as I know we will, that we've crossed that particular bridge, then we will get off of the FATF grey list, just like Kimber just did, and then we anticipate getting off of the EU blacklist. So that is pretty much the state of play. We are almost there. This is vital for our national interest. We run the risk of losing companies, but there's the point also at which we may run the risk of not being able to send money to pay for medication. You may not be able to transfer money to the US to pay for your child's education. So, critical issue, but I think that we are almost at that point of getting off of these lists, of course.